I got a plan to help Mark Cuban's cost-plus drug company grow by leaps and bounds just by inviting anyone who can't afford to pay cash for their medications. We want them to come to the FireSafe health insurance plan, which is free to the 99%. If we buy as a group, we will qualify for better deals than are available through any Medicare Advantage plan. And we will give Medicare and Medicaid the benefits of negotiated prices, which means they will spend pennies on the dollar, saving taxpayers trillions. Now, Twitter is for sale for $44 billion. That's less than 5% of $1 trillion, which we will easily save in a year. So I have a plan to purchase and pay for Twitter and protect free speech and our democracy better than any other plans under consideration. Stay tuned, some powerful things are on the horizon.
Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. Wow, what an interesting show today. Sometimes when we find entrepreneurs that are at the center of what I call a movement, it's always very interesting to have people that have a different look at the way the world spins, the way in which the world moves. And of course, when we talk about launching a movement, it's not easy. It takes a great entrepreneur. So we've gotten very interested in this movement that Will Price, the founder and chief solutions architect at fires.org, has put together. I mean, it's complex, but he's been able to simplify it in three main tranches that we're going to talk about. But for anybody that is interested in learning about what it takes to not only be a great entrepreneur, but also change the way in which we all look at health-related goods and services, Will's the go-to guy right now because he's right in the middle of it. Will, welcome to the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Hey, Andy. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be here, and your timing is perfect.
It's great to have you. We've spoken a few times prior to the interview. What you've got going is very, very interesting. Of course, we want to get into it all. But at a high level, tell us about fires.org. At a high level, 30,000 feet, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, well, for starters, FIRES is spelled P-H-I-E-R-S, and it's an acronym that stands for the People's Health Insurance Endowment and Referral Service, paving the way to universal coverage with local access to quality care close to home, paid for out of savings without increasing taxes, raising the debt or deficit, or requiring legislation. It is a movement to do three things: organize, buy as a group, and work as a team. If we do these things, we'll qualify for volume discounts, which will generate savings needed to pay for a lot of the things that we, the people, want and need. We do that, all of a sudden we're doing things that the government's not doing in ways that truly puts the power back into the hands of we, the people. That's the goal of fires.org. FIRES is a catalyst for positive change that simply uses existing resources smarter to solve problems that most Americans want solved now, as opposed to later, and in a way that doesn't require us to rely on Congress to do anything for us. We can do this ourselves by proving that the power of the people really is stronger than the people in power when we organize, buy as a group, and work as a team.
This is a great entrepreneurial journey because you have such a passion for what you're doing, really changing the way in which people organize, buy as a group, and work as a team.
Well, there's been hundreds of millions of people who've gotten a jab. Why don't we invite them to buy through us, the People's Health Insurance Endowment and Referral Service, basically the public option, which we will call the FireSafe Health Insurance Plan. If we give the benefits away free and there's no risk associated with it, then we will give Medicare and Medicaid huge savings in ways directly attributed to the ideas I'm sharing now, which will allow us to have money necessary to pay for Twitter. It's only $44 billion and we're saving trillions. It's in the noise. We can pay for it in less than a year. So I want to do that. And we'll give them health insurance, child and adult day health care, things that brings us together, because that's actually where the second of our membership drives comes in. Fire Sale was for savings. Fireworks is for job training and placement, where we'll teach people how to use a simple mobile app to get connected to the community. And that's the third membership drive, called a Fireplace: Directory, Resource Matching, and Referral Service. And when you combine these ingredients, you have a way to solve some of the biggest challenges facing the nation. Buy as a group so we get big enough discounts to pay for everything out of savings without increasing taxes, raising the debt and deficit, or requiring legislation. It really is that simple. Organize, buy as a group, and work as a team.
Organize, buy as a group, and work as a team. And that's really all it takes to achieve a great vision. So let's talk about it. You know, we've spoken before, and this is such a great idea, and you have so much going through your head as an entrepreneur. What was the sort of thing that started you thinking about this movement that you're trying to launch right now, Will?
Well, the fact that there's a lot of movements, but they have no power. They have no leverage. All they do is have loud voices and anger, but they can't force the wealthy to change anything. I realized that if we want to bring about change, we've got to hit them in the bank accounts. And to do that, we have to influence the way that money flows to the corporations. And there's not a lot we control. You know, the oligarchs, the monopolies are out there, but the government still is the biggest purchaser. So I figured if we could help get the 99% to come together and focus on buying as a group, then we would be able to influence the way that the government spends its money. And by focusing on Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drug Company, I see that as the fastest and highest impact way to reduce the cost of all types of things to the government, because, you know, everything is interconnected. You have to be able to solve multiple problems at the same time with minimum wasted motion. So if we can reduce drug prices, then we can pay to create jobs, and these jobs will help us get better health outcomes, stronger safety nets, safe and affordable housing, all types of things that are necessary to help cities and states survive the Great Reset. We've got really tough times ahead of us because things were done to deliberately hurt the working class, and I've got a plan to help the working class come together and use their collective bargaining power to change the way the government spends money, which redirects the flow of money towards corporations that buy off politicians to represent their interests as opposed to ours. Then I realized, hey, sounds like if we can organize and buy as a group and work together to get good candidates elected, then we can overcome the influence of money in politics. And the idea of a movement just continued to grow from there, recognizing that power concedes nothing without a demand. But the demand has to have teeth. And that's exactly why fires.org was formed.
Talk about sustainability. You have a great sort of mindset with regard to how you're going to keep this sustainable. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why and how does this remain sustainable for the member?
Okay, by definition, sustainable means it pays for itself, and that, you know, it doesn't increase the debt and deficit. If you participate, you have more money after whatever it is you do than you would have without us if you participate. It pays for itself by giving Medicare the benefits of negotiated prices, so they will save money, which will in turn come back to our organization in terms of, what do they say, social impact bonds, performance-based grants, contracts. We do intend to compete in the private insurance market, and we will give our benefits away for free, so it makes it pretty sustainable if it pays for itself, right? I'm just having fun. It just makes sense. Use existing resources smarter to get better outcomes that saves enough to pay for our ongoing operation and expansion. That sounds pretty daggone sustainable, especially when you consider how if you don't have to pay but you get the benefits, and then out of the savings we're actually going to invest in things important to everyone's future, like we want to invest heavily in expanding the U.S. Postal Office's fleet of electric vehicles so that we can provide transportation, not just for their packages, but for our prescriptions and our patients and their care teams and anyone who needs public transportation. You see, if we're saving trillions, we can easily donate, hundreds of billions to the government, in particular to, say, Tesla. They're suffering right now. If they would give us electric vehicles so that we could compete with Uber and Lyft and help the U.S. Postal Service benefit from the brilliant minds in the Amazon labor union. They know how to ship packages and products and handle routing and all of that stuff. So imagine if we gave them a fleet of electric vehicles based on Tesla, so Elon Musk would be happy. And in exchange for us helping him boost Tesla stock, I would be looking to purchase Twitter so that we can use it to get the message out about how we're going to compete with Amazon. Because one of the best things about fires is the marketplace, which means if we're organizing and buying as a group and helping anyone and everyone who has services or products, whatever, that you would like to make available to others, if you use the Fireplace resource matching referral service and the Fire Sale online marketplace, if we combine that with an expanded fleet of electric vehicles, we can combat climate change and make sure that the U.S. Postal Service is charging cheaper rates because we will subsidize it. And we will also create jobs where the drivers are treated fairly so that you can get to your destination, you can get to your appointments, you can get to your jobs, and you can deliver goods and services in ways that are a lot cheaper than anything we're being offered. Right now, the wealthy are shutting down everything bit by bit, so we have to think systemically at all the different challenges we're facing. If we do that, then we'll find that we really are a heck of a lot more resourceful and able to survive what they have planned for us. We just have to be willing to, now get this, sustainable. Pay our own way moving forward while improving lives better than anyone doing business with the government, which means, guess what? We deserve a portion of what the government's spending. And I'll tell you, for 1% of what Biden wants to invest in the Build Back Better plan and not solve any problems, for 1% of that, Fires.org and its partners will absolutely solve these problems, while also making sure that Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drug Company can reset Big Pharma so that they have to compete against guys who do science for the public good, who really care about improving population health. If they aren't consistent and compatible with the platform that we're promoting, then they will go out of business because we will have better alternatives anyway. And we have a focus on getting the supply chains moving by absolutely focusing on helping truckers so that we can interrupt what's been proposed. Fire trucks is a wave of the future, and it'll be owned, operated by, and accountable only to we the people, and it will help us get our supply chains moving again quickly. How's that for sustainability? Better than any other options on the table.
Yeah, I love it, Will. Of course, you say, what you're doing is more like 3D chess and checkers, and I love that so much. Let's talk about it. So someone joins, they want to be involved. Let's talk about really what happens. So let's say a movement starts, people come on the platform. What can they expect, and how long will it take for their expectation to become a reality? So once someone joins Fires, what can they expect to happen?
Well, the good thing is, at its base, Fires.org is nothing but a cooperative that leverages the collective bargaining power of we the people, which means it's really nothing but a membership club. The more who join, the bigger the discounts, and the sooner they join, the faster we can qualify for volume discounts. Our goal is to get 10% of the prescription drug users between now and August 19th, the beginning of what I call Holy Week. I'll explain more about that later. But suffice it to say that if we got just 10% of the prescription drug users to say that once we launch, that they will buy through us, then we'll qualify for better discounts than even the VA gets, which would save Centers for Medicare and Medicaid hundreds of billions, if not trillions, if we extend to all beneficiaries of government-funded benefits. Which means that technically we could deliver universal coverage, 100% free to all who join, generating the savings needed to pay for the cost of prescription medications for anyone who can't afford to buy direct through Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drug Company. While it's true the Democrats are talking about reducing drug prices, it's not going to happen for many years in the future and for a limited set of drugs. Whereas our plan is to buy all medications available through Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drug Company on behalf of anyone who gets them paid for by Medicare and Medicaid. And we can deliver those benefits as soon as they're able to cut the check. Which means we can influence the upcoming election by delivering benefits that are attractive to more than 80% of the American people easily, sustainably, affordably, and in a timely fashion that doesn't require Congress to lift a finger. So if that's not a good deal, I don't know what is. We can get this program up and running and get savings and checks into people's pockets sooner than later if they join us sooner than later. And we can influence the upcoming election in ways that are beneficial for everyone who believes that healthcare is a human right and who wants relief from inflation in the form of monthly checks. We can do all of this before the election, and the candidates we endorse will commit to this agenda so we can reshape politics and get benefits in people's hands and in their lives in a matter of months.
That's great, Will. Let's talk about entrepreneurship. You know, you are at the precipice of this movement. You're really putting together something that's complex, but simplifying it in a way that really makes sense. Organize people, buy as a group, and work as a team. That's really what it takes to achieve the vision that you have with Fires. Let's talk about entrepreneurship, because I'm listening to you. People are watching the show. You know, they're saying to themselves, wow, this is a giant mountain that Will's, climbing right here. When you think about it, I mean, for the younger entrepreneurs watching the show, what's it take to keep going up that mountain? What's it take to keep pushing? What's it take that when you hit a roadblock, you keep on pushing forward, knowing that, what your belief in your dream is well worth getting through the potholes in the road?
Great question. For starters, I want to live. I want those I love to live, and I want those who I don't know to live better lives so that everyone is better off. I want to raise the vibration of the planet. I know that there's not anyone who's talking about solving problems that actually provides tangible, sustainable relief. So if no one else is doing it and I've got the vision and the ability to actually deliver, I can't do it alone. But I had to make sure that I could solve problems that I see emerging in real time, because other people can do websites and can take my videos and create whatever instruction manuals are needed. I realized I had to walk the path that I am uniquely here to walk, because if it is to be, if we're going to create order out of chaos, if we're going to solve problems no one else can solve, you need someone who's lived the life, who has the pedigree, the children, the family, relationships. That shows that we are here for a reason. What it took for me is to be willing to let go of listening to what other people told me I had to do to be successful. I realized I've got a vision, and if I fulfill my vision, then the world will be a better place, so I really don't care what anyone else says. I'm here for a very specific purpose, and that's to live up to my highest potential. My prayer every day is, God, show me what I need to know so I can make the right decisions and do things that are necessary for me to have the greatest positive impact on humanity. Show me what I need to know and give me the wherewithal to take the right action with a joyous heart to live my life in service to God and humanity. And that means I don't care what anyone says. I just do what I do because that's what I'm here to do. And yeah, it's interesting. It's a lonely path, but I'm committed to the outcome. I wouldn't do anything other than what I'm doing, and I'm glad I've walked the path that I've walked. Now I'm ready to learn from people who want to build a movement. Join me. Show me what I need to know so that we can work together to allow this movement to have the teeth needed to force those in charge to listen. Because if we can solve problems they can't solve, then guess what? This entrepreneur right here did his job.
But Will, I love it so much. And of course, the thing that you're really mentioning about entrepreneurship is that when you have a passion and you have a dream, and more importantly than anything, you're putting other people at the forefront. You're putting other people at the pinnacle of your thought process. In other words, every day when you wake up, Will, I would imagine you're thinking about the constituents. You're thinking about all the people that could have something potentially better in their lives based on this movement that will allow them to have something better. So when you wake up in the morning, is that what gets you going as an entrepreneur? You're always thinking that you can change the world by helping others?
Well, you've heard the saying, the needs of the many outweighs the needs of the few. And I'm not asking for handouts. I'm just looking for that proverbial need to be taken off my neck so I can live up to my potential, or to not be shot if I get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? If I can do what I'm here to do, then the world will be a much better place. And that's what I'm focused on, solving the problem.
Love it, Will. It makes all the sense in the world. I know you've only cut out a certain amount of time today, but before I let you go, let's talk about it. Where do you see Fires 3 years from now? Where does it go? How many people do you want to have signed up, and what's it look like 3 years, looking forward?
Basically, I see Fires as being, within 3 months, the largest purchaser of health-related goods and services on behalf of Centers for Medicare and Medicaid. That'll give us access to hundreds of millions of people, probably who've already been jabbed and who are part of a system that isn't giving them access to the care and supportive services in the community they need to get, better health outcomes. A lot of them need jobs. They need to be able to pay for their medications. You can get that with fires.org, so there's no reason for people not to join us. So I truly expect us to, between now and the election, to have hundreds of millions of people on our team voting for people who will protect their interests so that we can create a much better world that is consistent and compatible with what's necessary for us to survive what the elites have planned for us as Build Back Better and the Great Reset actually happens. I've got a plan to rebuild supply chains, to deal with technology that allows us to mine and deal with crypto on a distributed low power basis. And I've got connections who are at the top of that industry who hopefully will do the right thing on behalf of humanity. That's what I'm here to do. Prove to the world that black guys like me are inferior to no one. To Governor DeSantis, Newsom, Trump, whoever might else be running for president, if you guys can compete with and outperform the positive impact of my solutions on humanity, then let's meet in the marketplace of ideas and see what the people choose. I challenge all of you, including President Biden and Buttigieg, or whoever else you want to throw forward, except for Marianne and Nina. I will step aside for either one of those fine leaders in a heartbeat, because they represent the best interest of humanity. They don't have agendas other than that which serves our common good. That's what gets me going, and that's what I'm excited about. I think we can influence the upcoming 2022 and 2024 election. So how much more of an impact would you like us to have? I look forward to partnering with DotCom Magazine to improve the lives of people across the nation and around the world by promoting businesses that people can trust and benefit from in a sustainable way that pays for itself out of savings in less than a year without increasing taxes, raising the deficit and debt, or requiring legislation. This is how we defeat inflation and push back the idea of a recession, because our cryptocurrency won't be volatile like everyone else's. It'll be backed by an online marketplace, insurance plan, and bank owned by we the people of fires.org.
When we think about better health-related goods and services at a lower price, anybody can get behind that, of course, because it's all about taking care of yourself. We just have had COVID. We've been through this pandemic. Everybody's thinking about, what do I do for my health? How do I impact my health in a more powerful way? What do I do? What action steps do I take to make sure that in the future, in the event that I become unhealthy or I have some health challenges, that I get the absolute best goods and services to help me with my situation at the lowest possible price? And, a lot of people they say to themselves, why is it so expensive?
The reason healthcare is expensive is because the fire sale, marketplace, and membership club does not yet exist. What Mark Cuban is doing is great, but he's only doing business with people who can afford to pay cash, when there's a much larger population who can't afford medications. So Medicare and Medicaid, who can't negotiate, never gets good deals. I'm going to launch 3 membership drives. If you guys can join us, then the more who join, the bigger the discounts and the sooner it happens. This is how we can reduce healthcare and drug prices and improve population health and help cities and states better meet rising demand by using existing resources smarter.
We all know that if we can collectively come together with a great solution, that it should improve the health-related goods and services, the offering, at a lower price. And I think that makes sense for anybody. So, Will, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today as the founder and chief solutions architect. It's going to be very exciting to watch how this goes as he's climbing this giant mountain to make sure that people get what they need at a much lower price by putting together a collective group of people that have the same mindset about what they want to do and the type of life that they want to have. So, Will, thanks so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Well, real quick, if you have a small business that you would like to participate in creating an inclusive moral economy that uses shared services so that we can deliver on problems that society wants solved, well, join us at FIRES.org, PHIERS, which is the People's Health Insurance Endowment and Referral Service, strengthening and expanding the safety net and tax base that's needed to help cities and states better meet rising demand, because everyone's going through changes, society is collapsing, and we need a vision that can be easily embraced because it provides relief, checks, health care, support.
We love it, of course. It makes sense, really changing the way in which people organize, buy as a group, and work as a team. And that's all it really takes to achieve this incredible vision that Will has been working on for many, many years. Will, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today as the founder and chief solutions architect. And it's going to be very exciting to watch how this goes as he's climbing this giant mountain to make sure that people get what they need at a much lower price by putting together a collective group of people that have the same mindset about what they want to do and the type of life that they want to have. So, Will, thanks so much for coming on the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
This is friggin' awesome. Thank you, Andy, for who you are and what you do, and for introducing me to so many beautiful entrepreneurs. I hope they will join us as we make this movement go from mind to market at light speed and in time to influence the upcoming election. Candidates we endorse will protect the health, safety, and well-being of you, the viewer. So everyone wins.